Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, it's Shane Willis, Pensacola real estate expert, bringing you today's episode. Today we're going to have a couple of stories about what's going on, what I'm seeing some stuff, and I want to kind of bring up a good point. First of all, I had a phone call today that there was a new foreclosure, which we don't see a whole lot of foreclosures right now, but there was a new foreclosure that came up on the market. And the customer called going, listen, I don't like I don't like the fact that he's pretty good.
Yeah, I know he is.
I don't like the fact that it was $69,000. So they looked at the property and they said, listen, it's 50. It's about all it's worth, because, and here was the rationale behind it. They said it's going to take about $25,000 for me to fix it up, and then it's going to be worth 95 to 100, and I got to be able to make $25,000 in order to do this. Which, as a flipper, is what those are called, a real estate trade. If you listen to the whole video that I put up on yesterday's episode, you would have heard me talk about trading real estate. As a flipper, that makes sense. It makes sense that you have to build in the profit. The problem is inventory is so low, especially at that 50 to 100,000 mark, that the seller doesn't have to take that into consideration. That $25,000 profit that buyer wanted to get, the seller doesn't have to take that into consideration right now because there's not much inventory. And so it was kind of funny. The property came on the market. 3 hours later, I saw it go contingent. I didn't list this property, but I just kind of paid attention to it, and I seen it go contingent. I called the agent up because I knew the agent. I said, hey, I know you can't tell me what it went for, but can you tell me if it went at list or over? And she's really not supposed to tell me that, but she just kind of coughed over and moved on. So not only did it not go for 69 like it listed for, it went for over that. Why? Because they were right. It takes about $25,000 if you're paying a contractor, and then you can get it's worth 95 to 100. But what this seller wanted, and because of the inventory right now, all this particular seller wanted to do was bring it up to value right now. So they said, okay, it's worth 100. Needs $25,000 worth of work, which means it's probably worth 75. Let's sell it at 69, just to get a quick buy. So we have to pay attention to inventory. And let me change directions for something else that happened earlier this week. It actually happened this past weekend with one of my deals, my personal deals. I had a property under contract. I'm the seller on this deal. They were under contract. They were paying me $240,000 or $245,000, and I was conceding back $5,000 towards concession, so it was basically $240,000. Well, the inspections come back, which we had limited the repairs on the inspections to $1,000, and the inspections come back, and the customer says, I want a new roof, a brand new roof. Well, obviously a roof's going to cost more than $1,000, but this is what I did. I told him, I said, listen, it's another veteran. I was trying to help him out. I said, I tell you what, the roof's going to run about $15,000. Why don't you up the purchase price, $5,000? I'll give you a new roof. Today's market, that's crazy. As a matter of fact, the other agent called me up and said, did you type that right? She was confused. She's a newer agent. She went to her team lead, who is one of the most respected realtors here in town. I actually have done, we've done dozens of deals together. So he's definitely one of the more respected teams in town. And he said, my goodness, if you got Shane to agree to that, you need to take it in a heartbeat. What the buyer did was, instead of taking it, literally came back And the agent told me, she said, I'm sorry for even having to present this, but I'm by law, I have to present it back, this answer. I said, no, I don't want to up it $5,000. You're going to put a brand new roof on it. You're going to put a brand new garage door in it. You're going to replace the stove. Obviously, since I had a limit on repairs, and that was well over, we just were not going to come to an agreement. And they said, well, fine, you can just find a different buyer. And what the agent that represented them told me was, I think they think you're going to just put it on the market and it's going to sit for another 30, 45 days. I don't think that's the case right now, but let's see. Let's see what happens. So we canceled that contract. I put it on the market. Now, I had it listed on the market at $245 when the previous buyer was on it. So they were offering me full price and just asking for 5,000 concessions. I came back on the market at $255, so I raised the price $10,000. But I put in the notes, hey, new roof coming, because I had already put a deposit down on the roof. We were getting a new roof. I knew it needed a new roof anyway, so after the inspection report that this particular buyer showed me, I'm like, yeah, it needs a new roof. Got to put a new roof on it. So we're working through that anyways. So put it on at $255. 3 hours later, got an offer at $260. They did finalize after all the concessions and everything else. We are winding up at about $257. But I was going to be at $240 with that other offer. It's costing me a little over $10,000 to put the roof on. Actually, $15,000 to put the roof on. So that put me, but my new offer is $17,000 higher. So really, the new offer is paying for the roof. Plus, I'm making an extra $2,000 in profit. But this guy's going to do roof too, and it's worth every penny. Because with a new roof, that property is probably worth $280, $295, somewhere around in there. So this guy's getting a good deal. I'm getting to move on to my next project, and things are moving on. But that other buyer now is kind of kicking himself because he can't find anything like what he had with our house at the 240 mark. Okay, Shane, why do you tell all this? Why is that today's episode? Well, because I want to talk to you about basic mathematics in the marketplace right now. This is basic economics. Guys, supply, demand. People are asking me, why are prices still going up? Supply, demand. I got handed a report today, and I'm going to put it in the show notes. And for those of you getting the emails, make sure you take a look at this. Here was December 2017. Buyer demand rose by 7.3%. Seller supply dropped by 11.1%. That's year over year. January, buyer demand increased 4.5%. Seller supply dropped 9.5%. February, buyer demand jumped 3.7%. Seller supply dropped 8.1%. You can't keep having demand rise, supply fall, and prices not continue to rise. So we're going to continue to see that here in the foreseeable future. There's no way around it. We just have to. It's basic economics. We all learned this in middle school. So when you ask me why are prices going up, that's why. That's why prices are going up. If you're a buyer in this and you're still thinking it's 2012 and that lady that thought that $69,000 house was worth $50, it doesn't work that way right now. Now, is real estate working cycles? Sure. Could another cycle come around? Absolutely. But we have to live in this reality right now. This is April 2018, and that means supply is down, demand is high. What in the world? We have to pay attention to what we're getting value-wise, and that value is going to change month to month, actually week to week. I get that report run every week. So every Monday morning when I walk in the door, I have a report on my desk. Pay attention to what's going on in this market. Pay attention to what's going on right now. Not what happened 5 years ago, and some of you have sold the house 3 years ago. I'll tell you one final story before this episode ends. I walked into a seller's listing appointment, right? We started talking, and he told me, hey, I want to list this house for $220,000. Now, he took this the opposite way of what I'm trying to teach you guys right now. He said, well, supply's down, demand's high, so I want $220,000. I looked at him, I said, this is a $180,000 house. And when I value it at $180,000, I'm valuing it looking forward, because if we just looked at past sales, this is a $172,000 house. but I'm giving you another 4 or 5% worth of appreciation because supply is down, demand is high. So don't take this as a seller to where you can just go, well, you know, I know it's 180, but I want 220. I'm going to ask for 220 because that property will just sit there. I see we've got so many new agents coming into the business right now because, well, it's back to the heydays. It's so easy to sell real estate. So they're coming in and they're taking these listings wherever they want to. And you should see some of the stuff that I've seen. I seen a property the other day. It really should be about 2.25 on the max. It was listed for $399. There is nothing ever sold in that neighborhood over $310. Ever. 2005, 2006, ever. Nothing. $399. What? So don't take this the wrong way and say, well, I can just price it astronomically high. No, that's not necessarily the case. You still have to be smart with it. But as a buyer, you also need to pay attention and realize demand is higher than supply, which means that tends to lead towards a seller's market. So don't get crazy like the one guy did, saying, hey, I want a roof, I want a garage door, I want a stove, and I want a set of Twinkies, and I don't want to come up on the price at all. Shut up. You're not getting that. Because it is a seller's market, they can look at you and go, no, we'll just find another seller or another buyer, and probably find them quickly, like I did. All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, if you have not subscribed to get the tips, tricks, graphs, notes, whatever else I send out in those emails, make sure you get over to 5minutesinrealestate.com. That's 5minutesinrealestate.com. Also, if you've not got over to Google Play or iTunes, whatever your player of choice is, and liked the podcast, get over there, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, be nice. I said be nice. And finally, if you found value in this or any other episode that we've listened to, I ask that you share it up on social media. Thanks for listening. Have a fantastic day.